MotorWeek is made possible by TireRack.com and RockAuto.com.
Now, Olds is only going to build 3,000 of them, so you better get your order in fast. Oh, and take along about 16,000 and change.
Well, I'm not so sure that'll fit into my budget, but thanks anyway, Joyce. After all, to many of us, $16,000 still seems like a lot of money for a car, but we have an alternative. It won't take anywhere near that much to put you in this Honda Civic station wagon. Base price is only $7,195. Now, last year, the entire Honda Civic line was overhauled, and the wagon came out looking a lot different from the old one. Since it was designed for its exclusive wagon mission, it shares no sheet metal with its sister Civics, but it still offers Honda economy, though, and a whole lot more.
Except maybe for looks. Many of our staff thought the front-wheel drive Honda Civic Wagon was styled more like an aerodynamic refrigerator than a car. But those first impressions were short-lived once we got to what you buy a station wagon for, its interior. Pop the lightly loaded rear hatch and you'll find an unusually flat, tall, and wide for a small car cargo bay. Loading is a cinch, since the hatch extends clear down to bumper height. The double folding seats allow 10 different cargo people-moving configurations. None will pinch the front seaters, though, since there's plenty of space for heads, shoulders, legs, and even size 12 feet. Seats have good support for the lower back, but were a bit flat, overly firm, and too short for most thighs. But Honda's claim of room for 5 adults is accurate. It helps, though, if they're all good friends. But it's the small creative touches that make the Honda wagon really stand out. For instance, the rear seat backs have an angle adjustment and headrests that retract out of rear view sight when not in use. The center dash vent pops up only when you need it for air conditioning. The big hatch has a practical inside release, and small item storage compartments abound on almost every vertical surface, as well as under the seats and under the cargo floor. Lift this latchable door and you'll find a nifty tray. But there's almost no space left unused, so pull out the tray and you'll discover the spare tire. Other interior amenities include a dash with very well-placed controls, and Honda's traditional instrument pod with a big, if incomplete, set of gauges. But Honda's tradition of excellence in fit and finish fell short of our expectations. We found much more orange peel in the paint than expected. And when we tried to roll up the front windows while driving, inside air pressure often forced them out of their proper tracks. Those minor problems aside, though, the more than you bargained for aspects of the Honda wagon really begin to shine when you turn it loose on a test track. That's right, the short wheelbase and well-engineered suspension of this Civic makes it an almost sports car-like performer. Handling is well balanced with little torque steer to fear. While some front-wheel drive understeer is present, you can lift the throttle in a turn without too much concern that the tail end will try to come around to meet you. So even with slow steering and body roll induced by its tall stature, the Honda wagon felt very safe in all typical highway emergency situations. The wagon's power comes from Honda's 1.5-liter 4 with a 3-valve per-cylinder head design. An extra intake valve is provided for better combustion. So despite fuel delivery by carburetor, both power and economy are quite good. With 76 horsepower and 84 pounds of torque, it returned a 500-foot on-ramp or city block transit time of 9.5 seconds at 52, well above average. While a 3-speed automatic is available, our car's 5-speed manual had a smooth linkage and gears well matched to the engine's bottom-end power band. So in our 40 to 55 passing test, the Honda needed only 4.9 seconds. Pretty good for a utility model. Or for that matter, one that has EPA fuel economy ratings of 30 city and 34 highway. We got a right proud 32 on our 100-mile economy loop. Indeed, 32 is a practical number for mileage and for Honda's parking lot turning diameter. There was one thing we found somewhat lacking, though, and that was the Honda wagon's brakes. With a weight of only 1,900 pounds, we expected short stopping distances from 55 of 119 feet. But both the front disc and rear drums were susceptible to premature lockup. Halts, though, were straight. So our overall observation?
Routine trips in the Honda Civic Wagon are not unlike driving an old AMC Pacer. There's a lot of glass, so the interior is very airy. You feel like you're on top of the world. Only in this case, there's also enough agility and power to get out of almost any traffic trouble. It's a very neat vehicle.
But hold on, we've saved the best for last. Honda has just added a new curve to the well-rounded Civic Wagon, four-wheel drive. For a still meager $8,700, you can have sure-footed all-weather traction, engaged at the push of a single dash-mounted switch. For rutted roads, the Honda 4x4 also gets an inch more ground clearance. But even in the two-wheel drive version, the Honda Civic Wagon combines extraordinary efficiency with memorable performance. And unspeakable dealer markups aside, it's a bargain in every sense of the word.